US social media giant Meta has been hit with $414 million worth of fines for breaching European Union personal data laws. The company has been asked to bring its data processing operations into compliance within 3 months. The Irish Data Protection Commission, while announcing the fines in a statement, said that Meta breached its obligations in relation to transparency. The regulator said the company needs to assess the legal basis on how Facebook and Instagram use personal data to target advertising in the European Union. The watchdog has fined the company €210 million in relation to Facebook and an additional €180 million in relation to Instagram for violating Europe's landmark General Data Protection Regulation, or GPDR. Now, GPDR is the toughest privacy and security law in the world and was adopted by EU in 2018. The total fines levied against Meta to date by the Irish regulator under the law now totals to €1.3 billion. Meta currently has 11 other inquiries open into its services. The announcement of recent penalties comes a month after Europe's data regulator, the European Data Protection Supervisor, imposed binding decisions over the treatment of personal data by the group. One of those rulings also concerns Meta's instant messaging app WhatsApp, which the entire world is now using, with the regulator based in Ireland due to announce a separate verdict next week. Meta, meanwhile, has responded by saying that it strongly believes that its approach respects EU privacy laws. The company has said that it intended to appeal both the substance of the rulings and the fines imposed, and further added that the fines do not prevent personalized advertising on its platforms. We still have Adrian Maas with us, who is a tech journalist and is joining us live from London. Adrian, I'm coming back to you. Now, privacy is a concern for everyone. Do you feel Meta will give in to the demands or stick to their policy, and these targeted advertisements will continue?
They have absolutely no choice but to give in. They can be fined under GDPR up to 4% of their annual turnover. So, you know, it's vast, and that's in every territory, not just every EU territory. So, you know, the fines could, in theory, basically wipe out all their turnover. I'm sure they won't be that high. But, they're already up just with this one regulator to about €1 billion. So it's not something they can afford to ignore. It doesn't. It won't affect the user experience enormously. You will be able to opt out of personalised ads. I'm sure they'll appeal it. They always do. It'll take some time, and that maybe they'll carry on in the meantime, but that Adrian, risks bigger fines.
You know, it is extremely unnerving when you're having a closed-door conversation with anybody in the family, and you could be talking about something that you'd never search for on your phone, and minutes later you see the ad on one of your Meta apps that you use, Instagram or Facebook. I mean, do they really have to continue with that, or are you sure they will not be kind of cutting back on the targeted advertisements, to say the least?
Well, I mean, there isn't evidence that Meta have been listening through your microphone and doing speech recognition. There is the evidence for this is fairly tenuous, and I've seen some sort of examples where it really looks like it's happening, but nobody's managed to really pin down some hard evidence that companies are doing this. In terms of Meta, they're doing it by embedding code effectively on lots of the websites you visit. So even if you're not logged into to a Meta, to a Facebook, to an Instagram account, when you visit websites, the advertising cookies, little data files they leave on your PC, record that you visited that website, and they build up a profile of you. And you should be able to opt out of that and to have to explicitly opt in under EU rules. And they've just changed their terms and conditions, said you're opted in unless you tell us otherwise. Now, my advice is to go to all of these services. Google and Meta are probably the biggest, they are the biggest web advertising companies, and opt out of personalised advertising. That hits them in the pocket. And Meta have been hit really hard by Apple, who have forced all app providers to to by default opt out of any targeted advertising effectively. So a huge portion of their advertising was Apple devices, and that already hit their turnover. So this is a kind of another blow that all over the European Union they could potentially lose a lot if they actually have to pop up a message saying, do you agree to personalised adverts?
Right.
And the default is no. So it's the heart of their business.
Right. Thank you for all those updates, Adrian. We'll be in touch for more.